This live stream may contain content that could be perceived as shocking or offensive, but it is presented solely for educational purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. We strive to adhere to community guidelines, and any potentially sensitive material is shared with the intent of fostering understanding and learning.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. I want to welcome you to our live stream for today. We're going to be talking about a situation that I saw yesterday. Charlotte cop caught stealing cash on camera from subject. This was a crazy situation. We have the entirety of the body cam. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the body camera footage that's going to initially be from the responding officer. And then the second body cam footage that's going to come in is going to be from the sergeant that's on the scene when they get back to the location. So the information as we have it, on March 14th, 2024, Officer Henry Chapman responded to assist an officer during a traffic stop involving a driver who was allegedly speeding and had an outstanding federal arrest warrant. The warrant specified that the driver had personal property amounting to $7,911, which came into Officer Chapman possession as he transported the driver to University City Division Team office. According to the warrant, once at the office, Officer Chapman requested another officer to transport the driver to jail. During the transfer, as the assisting officer began searching the driver, and this is where it gets interesting, both the driver and the assisting officer heard a rubber band snap. The driver immediately accused Officer Chapman of stealing. So we're going to bring the video in. The video is coming via police activity on YouTube. I've put the link in the description. All rights reserved. We're utilizing this under fair use. A lot to talk about. So this is like a 20-minute video. I'll be jumping in, jumping out. I'll do my absolute best to not break it up too much, but yeah, a lot going on here. We're going to have a lot to discuss, and we'll talk about how this ties into private security when we get to the end of the video. So without further ado, cops doing crazy shit. Let's go.
Good. Hey, I clocked in at 68, okay? That's why I'm stopping you. Yeah, do you have your lights on you? All right, just give me a moment, all right? Hey, appreciate you coming out. I haven't talked to him yet. Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet. So let him know it's a basic warrant out of Mexico. Hey man, come step up here real quick. I'm going to show you something.
Sir, come on, step back here. Go ahead and face that call. Touch phone on the top of it.
What am I doing? I'm going to explain everything to you. That's why I'm having you out. Okay?
So you are under arrest at this time. You have a warrant out for your arrest. A warrant for what?
I'm going to show it to you in a moment, okay? Is this your car?
It's my girlfriend's car.
Your girlfriend's car. Can he drive it, the guy that's in the passenger seat?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, twist your...
So, what am I under arrest for?
I'm going to show it to you, okay? Come back here for a second. I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you the LiDAR too, where I clocked you at 68. That's not really the biggest concern here, okay? But I'm going to show you the warrant once I get you secure, okay? Is there anything you want to bring with you down there to Mexico County Jail?
No, I'm saying, can I understand, what am I being detained for?
Yeah, it's a warrant. I'm going to show you the actual warrant in just a moment when I have a chance to sit you down. Is there anything on you need to know about? Is this a poker stick? No, sir. Okay. Do you want to bring these items with you or leave them in the car?
Yeah, you can give me. You can put them in my pocket. Okay.
Right here in the pocket.
Step to your right just a little bit. Okay. Let me get this step out your way first.
All right. Can I get my? Can you get my phone?
Yes, I'm going to put it.
All right, I do want to step in right quick right here. So you heard the subject ask, can I get my phones? And he's going to say, yeah. So right here is where a lot of the, I don't want to say murkiness, like a lot of the issues kind of start. So the guy has 2 cell phones on him. He's got some other stuff on him. And there's going to be an exchange of the items that he has to the people that are with him, where the cops allow him to give some of the items to the people that are with him. But the detaining officer who's going to be transporting him is very adamant that the large amount of money that he comes in contact with come with both of them. I think that's going to play into what happens here. So just wanted to give a little context.
I'm going to leave that cash in there. Any other pockets I need to know about?
No, sir.
Go ahead and see what's there.
Say, what is my money on the thing off right there, guy? What?
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Oh, that's not mine. I ain't seen that. I've never seen that in my life. What are you doing with my property then?
I'm going to hold the window down and tell you what you're in here for. Your stuff right here.
My phone's right here too on top of the stuff. But what am I in for then?
So, I don't know if you've had a history with them or not, but you got a U.S. Marshal warrant, a weapons violation. That's all it tells me. Okay, when you get down there, they're going to print it out for you. Okay.
These 2 make the phone? You give them this?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. You good? What is that? I get cash. No, that's going with you. That's going to be with you. We're not giving that to anybody else. We got that off you, so it's staying with you. So you know we didn't take none, and none's going to be missing.
All right, but I want to.
No,
That's my brother.
we are taking that. That's staying with you. That's the rule.
And you gave me
So
some of it.
because it come off of you, every bit of it's going with you. Does that make sense? That's accountability, because when it comes to stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So,
This ain't type of say. They're going to double check it just to be sure.
okay. So just give it just a minute, all right?
Alright, I'm gonna count your money in front of you, okay?
Here's big money. We'll put this in the bag for you, okay? Yeah, here. Here you go.
I got you.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
counting it right now.
You're gonna watch me, okay?
I heard the early band get shot.
Hold on. Check it out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Excuse me.
10.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to.
All right. So right here, the subject is aware that the officer has taken some of his money. I'm going to bring this in full screen and let you guys watch the entirety of the exchange between the subject and the 3 cops. Now, you've got the arresting officer who at this point is still currently sitting in the car. You have the subject who has his hands handcuffed behind him. You have the officer who is now in custody of the cash, and she's counting the cash out. And then you have what seems to be potentially a sergeant that's going to be off to the far right. This exchange is really interesting because you're going to hear the subject start to call out the fact that he physically is watching the detaining officer start to conceal this money, right? The officer who is in the custody of the money, who's counting it out, she is really gaslighting this guy. And I think that there needs to be some sort of conversation around how she responds to this, because, you know, I understand that the subject is in custody, but what he is saying is he's making a very bold accusation, right? A very bold accusation. And I want to make sure that we make this point and that we circle back to it when it comes to private security, because in the commission of what we do, it's not improbable or impossible that we could find ourselves in a situation where anything is being accused of someone that we work with, right? And although we have to make sure that we keep the main thing, we can't always sweep, and we shouldn't ever sweep those accusations under the rug, especially what's going to happen here. She's almost, I don't want to go so far as to say aiding the guy in stealing and concealing the money, but you're going to see that her attitude and the way that she approaches this accusation, there's just something wrong there. And I want you guys to give me your comments and your thoughts as you see it. So I'm going to take myself out of the screen. I'm going to put this up full screen. I will not stop it until the money is found. Okay. You have my word. Here we go.
Let me count it first. And
No,
then
can you look in between his legs real quick? I think he just put some more money in between his legs. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
how much money did you have on you? I'm asking.
I haven't touched it. Can you just check in between his
Sir,
legs?
listen to me.
He's moving and everything. Look, he's moving.
Sir, I'm good.
Sir, listen to me. Tell me how much cash you had on you. What was the amount?
I just want to see. I'm not gonna lie. Can you check? I'm not going nowhere. Can you check your fellow officer for me, please?
Yeah.
We're good.
Hell no. He just touched my. I heard the rubber band pop. He told me, oh, I had to look. And he's moving. He's moving in between his legs.
Sir, stand right here.
I'm gonna stand right here, but can y'all please check y'all fellow officer? Please. What's going on? Look, he's moving his arm right now.
How much cash did you have on you?
Can you check your
Yeah, I
hands?
didn't.
Can you check your people's? Because he's touching. What's
Tell
going
me
on?
what's the
Oh my
total
God.
amount.
Look at his hand. He's tucking money. He's tucking money right in his right hand.
Tell me how much money you
He's
had on
tucking
you.
money. He's tucking my money. That's a problem. Can y'all check him?
Hey,
Listen to me. What was your total cash?
He's telling her, no, don't check me.
Listen.
Look at him moving. He's moving. Oh my God. Y'all not gonna check him?
Listen.
Look
Chill
at him.
out.
listen. Come on.
I've been
Let me
cooperating
tell
with
you
you guys the whole time. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna allow anybody to take your money.
Look at him. He's moving.
But look at me. Look at me. If someone takes your money, it will be a big problem. All right. No one's gonna take your money. I can see his hand. I can see exactly what he's doing. No one's gonna take your money. She's gonna count your money. There's more money.
Watched him touch my money. And you
There's
guys
more
didn't
money in
even
here.
check it.
You're saying that there's more money in here?
But what I'm saying is
Let me ask you a question. Answer my question. Are you saying that there's more money in here?
what I'm saying is he just touched my money and went through 3 different floor compartments, and I seen him put it in between his legs. I heard my rubber band. I've been nothing but cooperative with you guys. All I wanted you guys to do was.
Okay, watch.
I'm saying, but he already moved and did a lot of different stuff.
Okay, come sit over here.
But y'all already let him move. Like, there's no way. Like, watch. That's crazy. I can't believe y'all just did me like that.
How much cash do you have on you total so I can count it out and we can verify if it needs missing? That's what I'm asking you.
We
Do
can
you know,
create this
do you know
right
what the
now.
total amount was?
Man, I honestly don't. The money was for bills. My wife gave it to me. The one that she tried to give me. I tried to give her the money. He said, don't give it to her.
Okay.
Because I went to Wendy's. I got a Wendy's receipt right.
But do you know how much cash you had on you so I can count it out so we can verify the total? Do you know approximately how much you had on you?
If I say a number and I get it wrong because he touched the money, then it's going to be all wrong. But I just don't understand why I heard my rubber band being popped.
I just grabbed it from the seat to give to her.
That's not what you just told me either, boss.
I did. That's what I did. And I handed her the
I'm not going to lie,
envelope
boss.
that
Have I gave you any problems?
No, sir, you have
in your
not.
car? That's all I wanted to ask, sir. I just don't understand why y'all couldn't. Like, I'm not going. I sit on my face. I'm not going nowhere. I just wanted
I'm
to.
asking you what your total was so we can count it out. You can watch me count
I'm
it
not
out.
sure. I'm
and we can
distraught. It's a lot.
verify.
It's a lot going on. I didn't even know I had a warrant. I'm just trying.
Okay.
I'm just trying to like.
So if you...
What's it called? I'm trying to like just like comply with you
Yeah,
guys.
I got
but
you.
that just doesn't make sense to the point where like I just watched him. Me and you both watched him move his hands. I watched him tear up. I watched him look at you and tell him like look at you and tell you no, you're not about to I just watched him do way too much when I haven't been nothing but nice and compliant to you guys. You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to go along with you guys' protocols and everything. All I've done was ask questions so I know how, like, to make sure I'm safe and my family can find me and stuff.
I understand.
And it's like, I
and
know.
that's why I was asking you what your total was so we can sit here and count it out.
But
and we
they
can
would've-
verify that it's correct.
It would have just helped me more seeing that you would have checked him. It's like as soon as
But did you not see me walk over here?
I did see that, sir. But at the end of the day, none of y'all, like none of you guys' body cams is on. Like I know.
Mine is on right now.
But I know for a fact what I seen and what I heard. And then when I asked him why was he like popping the rubber band on the money, he said I was just making sure something. But it's no need to make sure. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's my property. You feel what I'm saying? And I know for a fact the money was touched. But it's a million compartments.
Yes, I did touch it when I grabbed it out of the seat.
I understand. So I don't want to argue with you, Mr. Chapman. I just know what.
No, sir.
Okay, so what I typically do is count out everybody's
You can
money
count it
in
again,
front
but
of
I'm not
them
gonna
so
lie
you
to
can
you.
see that it's
The
accurate.
money was altered
So
before.
when I turn it over to property, you can verify that the total we're counting out now is the total that you're going to get back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Are you good with me doing that right now?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can tell me, do you have any kind of idea about how much you would
Yes,
say you
ma'am,
had
I
on
do.
you?
But I'd rather you count it first, so I just know in my head.
But if you tell me afterwards that it's missing, that doesn't verify.
But if you
know what
guys
I'm
would have
saying?
stopped him
If
within
you
the whole,
tell me
if you
how
guys
much
would
it
have,
was now, I can count it and we can verify if it's missing. Okay?
I understand what you're saying, ma'am, and I appreciate everything. But I feel like you guys don't understand what I'm saying. But it's okay. I'm not tripping. You can count it out. I just like you counting it out right now would just let me know exactly how much you took. But I'm not tripping anything. I'm not trying to cause any problems or any Miss Casperson. Miss Casperson. I'm not trying to cause any problems. I just know what I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. I heard the rubber band pop. I seen him fiddling. He did not just keep his hands up the whole time. Like no, I didn't. He didn't open the door and say, "You can search me." Look, you know what I'm saying? I heard my money. I'm a very great businessman. I just paid bills a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? I just know for a fact that he touched my money. And then he was adamant about not giving my money to my wife or the cameraman that was with me. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, "No, you're gonna keep your money on you," which wasn't a problem. You know what I'm saying? But him touching the money prior to just putting it in I've been listening the whole time. He asked for a small envelope. He didn't put the money in there then. He asked for it just doesn't make any sense. But you can do your job. I'm not trying to postpone or cause a problem. I just want to see how much is missing out at this point.
I want to count in front of you so
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see how much that you have, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1, 2, 5, 6. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. So that's 7. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. 7, 190.
It's around like 13, 14 minutes.
Okay, so we have it documented that you're saying that, okay?
Is that the rubber band that I'm on?
Yeah. You see me putting it all in here.
I appreciate you on that shit.
What do we say? 190, right?
So I wasn't saying that you altered my money.
No, I didn't say you said that, okay? Alright. But I said I wanted to count it out from in front of you so you can see how much is in there, because when we turn this over to the sheriff's office, it's then going to go to the marshals, that's going to go to the next sheriff's office. So this is us verifying that we're putting all your money in here.
Can you write my name on there also? Can y'all like I don't know the protocol with that, but like can y'all check y'all like his person? Because like if anything is on him,
Look,
like
sir.
it would be in big. No, I don't look.
I'm gonna show you right here. Look at me. Look at me.
All of you guys probably have kids out there. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
So look, this is all I want to explain to you guys. Most of the time, when somebody know they didn't, like when somebody knows for a fact they didn't do anything, they're not finna just, you feel what I'm saying, like let you search them. And I don't have kids, you feel what I'm saying? But I know how that goes because my mom did foster care. So I'm like up to par with all of that. And on top of that, if I didn't do anything, like how me and you've been talking the whole time,
Yes,
just
sir.
like how me and you was talking the whole time, if I didn't do anything, I have nothing that I'm worried about, you feel what I'm saying? There would be no reason for him to show me his pockets and stuff. Like I know for a fact.
No, I want you to feel.
Comfortable. I would have
Yes,
felt.
yes, sir.
I would have felt comfortable if your colleagues would have searched you at the exact time where I knew where the money was, because I seen you kept going in between your legs, and then every time everybody put all of the attention on me, you kept moving. I don't know if it's in your door. I don't know where it's at, but just like look, I don't even care to find the money, but how you know for a fact that I'm right.
Come here. Do
Do you mind if I move?
Come here. I'll tell you.
I want you to hold me though, so you know that.
Okay. Do you see anything?
No, no cap. I'm not even gonna touch it. It's blue hundreds right here. It's all the blue hundreds are right there behind that receipt. Thank you. All that's my money. He didn't have that.
This is your money?
Yes, I heard him crumble it up. Thank you. All that's been
That ain't
recorded,
my
right? That's my money.
Boom. That ain't my money. That's my money. Caught you. You dirty dog. You know, when I watched this the first time, it was like, you know, you can tell when someone is bullshitting on both sides of the equation. You can tell when someone's stalling because they don't want to get in trouble and face the responsibilities of their actions. And you can tell when someone is on that bullshit, and that cop was on that bullshit. My question is like, number one, you know, the other officers that are there, clearly when they're having this conversation and this stuff is coming to light, the detaining officer does not have his body camera on. That should have been a dead giveaway. What is it about the quote unquote good officers where they're not calling this stuff out? The subject says, like, you guys don't have your body cameras on. And the other female officer, she says, well, mine's on. Well, why doesn't the person that was transporting the subject to the jail have his on? Like, that would have alleviated a lot of these questions, right? And ultimately, when this guy is terminated or given the opportunity to resign, that's one of the charges that he gets. He gets the embezzlement charge, which I don't understand why he doesn't get a robbery charge, because he takes this person's money while this person is detained. He has a level of authority. He has a level of power. There's a power imbalance when he takes this person's money. But one of the other charges that he gets is turning off his body camera. So clearly all these other officers are aware that you're supposed to have your body camera on. I have to assume that they're aware that the body camera has to be on during the transport, right? This is no different than the situation with the San Diego officer. But right from the very beginning, that should have been a huge red flag to the female officer. The female officer walks over. She tries to, you know, I don't know, ask this officer a question, or, you know, he kind of puts the warrant out in front of her and she tries to grab it. And you can see where he stops her and he kind of nods his head, kind of nodding her off. Like, this is where the issues of transparency come into play and why everyone has this bad taste in their mouth. Because if you're seeing the actions of a bad officer, you should be calling that out and you should be dealing with it right there in the moment. I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up, but very telling in how the two officers who are responding to this situation, the female officer and the officer in the back who's now opened the door, you're seeing a huge difference in how they're responding to this situation.
That's my money right there.
Sir, you've been watching me that whole time.
I seen you take it. I seen you come.
Sir,
Just
that
count
is
it.
not me.
If I'm right, it's gonna be around $1,000. If I'm right, and like I told you, I just went to Wendy's. I seen you still.
No, sir.
If you don't mind, I just want to sit down so y'all don't try to say I'm resistant. I don't want to do nothing. All I know for a fact is I know what I know and I've seen it. I just wanted you guys to trust me, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was just acting a little irate, but I'm perfectly fine, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to expose you.
That is not me, bud.
Brother, I just seen you steal my money. It was no reason for you to pop my rubber band, brother. It was no reason for you to pop my rubber band off my money.
I didn't pop your rubber band off your money.
I heard it. Me and you just spoke about it. You heard him agree to it when I first got it. I said, I heard you did rubber band. You said, oh, I had to do something. It's okay. It's okay. I know. I just witnessed here today. Mr. Chapman went in my money. He separated my money. He was trying to steal it, and I caught him. He put it in between his legs, and as his colleagues approached me, he worked it towards the door. He tried to make it seem like I was lying.
What is the possibility that this, the officer, Mr. Chapman here, who's shaking his head no and continuing to be obstinate, what is his reasoning for the money getting into the side pocket of his cruiser? The subject is handcuffed. He didn't put it there. There's nobody else in the car. There's two people in the car. One of them with access to the front of the vehicle, one of them with a body camera that's turned off, one of them who's being accused. What is his reasoning for shaking his head and saying that this didn't happen? And the subject is saying that the money is going to be there. It's going to be behind my Wendy's receipt. And you see that the officer who's now responding to the situation is holding both the money and the receipt. So at this point, what are we talking about? This female officer, she continues to gaslight this guy. She continues to give him excuses and reasons as to, why things are unfolding the way that they're unfolding. At this point, why are they not pulling this officer out of the situation, stopping the conversation, and moving from here? What the fuck are we still talking about? I mean, when I say I don't get it, I'm being facetious. I do get it. But this is the stuff that, short of showing videos like this and short of having long form breakdowns, this is the kind of stuff that gets explained away. Well, it's not everybody. It's just a few bad apples. No, it's not. The industry is not corrupt. It's just those one or two bad cops. It's up to the good cops to call out the bad cops. Right? It's up to the good cops to call out bad cops. The security guard should not be breaking down video footage of a police officer that has stolen from a detained subject. That should be a video that a law enforcement officer is talking about. Like that industry should be screaming from the rooftops that these guys are not allowed in our ranks. They don't represent us. They don't uphold what we're here for. This is absolutely unacceptable, and it makes our job dangerous. They should be the ones doing this, right? But it'll get explained away, and it'll get swept under the rug, and this person's allowed to resign as opposed to being fired and drug out in front of the city, public square, and dressed down in front of all of the taxpayers to say that this person does not belong here. It should be loud, it should be vocal, and it should be public. And it should be done from their industry, not anybody else.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm in full custody of these officers. I'm being detained. I'm not going anywhere.
PBE, you said that the robbery charge won't stick since the dirty cop didn't use force to take the money. I disagree. He did use force. It's not the same as sticking a person up to take their money, but there's a power imbalance, right? There's a power imbalance. There's a position of this person being in a subjugated role. He's unable to refuse the situation. He doesn't have the ability when he asks that cop, hey, can I give the money to my cousin? The cop says, no, I'm taking it. He doesn't have an option to argue or fight that. The cop has the power of the state behind him. The cop has the firearm. The cop has, endless backup. He's got the weight of the pending charges. He has more opportunity to take from that person in that moment than someone on the street with a firearm. At least that person, if they were to come up against somebody who's robbing them on the street, they have an option to fight. What's the option to fight against this police officer when he says, no, we're going to take this money with us? If he does anything, says anything, makes any sort of movements, what's going to happen? Right? So I disagree. I understand where you're coming from in a technical sense, but I disagree in a philosophical sense, so to speak. But it is what it is.
I don't want any problems. I'm not armed. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just pulled over for a traffic stop. He just tried to steal some of my money.
Okay, we're hearing you, but there's no need to say all of
No,
that.
I was just looking at the camera. No, I just know how it goes. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to cause.
My camera's on the entire
Yes, ma'am.
time. All right,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
let's take it down a notch.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. I'm
We're
so
good
sorry.
here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's gaslighting. Let's take it down a notch. No, let's take it up a notch. Why am I the only person that's upset? You guys have a cop right here that just stole almost $1,000 from me. $1,000 from me. You think I need this shit? You think I need to be dealing with this? Is that what you guys are here for? Is that what's in your post orders? Is that what's in your standard operating procedures to rob citizens? What do you mean take it down a notch? Why am I the only person that sees something wrong with this? That would be my stance if I was this guy, right? And last point that I want to make before we finish out this video, I'll let it go a little bit further, and then we'll get to the points of security. This attitude that, short of being absolutely respectful, absolutely groveling to a sense, this person is damn near groveling to these police officers, because short of acting like that, he's aware that anything and everything can happen to him. So even though he's definitely going to have to answer for whatever he's done, he's going to have to atone for whatever crime he's committed. He's still a U.S. citizen. He's still a person. He has every right to not be robbed of his possessions, of his money by the people that are detaining him. But there is a huge lesson to be learned here in the fact that the way that this person is carrying himself, the way that he is talking to these officers, the way that he is addressing these officers, it's out of fear. It's out of fear of what could happen to him if he were to allow himself to get upset, if he were to allow himself to become belligerent. We're not afforded that opportunity. And that's an entirely different conversation. It's an entirely different video. I'm not going to go into that rant, but I want everyone to recognize what's happening here. Most of you watching this video, if you were in this person's shoes and you were to have $1,000 stolen from you while you were under detainment from the police, the way that you would be talking to these three officers would be starkly different than the way that this man is talking to these officers. But he's aware of the possibility, the great possibility of what can happen to him if he were to get out of line. And that can't be understated. That to me is what raises the level of egregiousness of this situation, is because men that look like him, men that look like me, understand the ultimate cost that can come from asserting your rights, asserting your manhood, asserting your desire for reasonableness and fair treatment. And it's absolutely disgusting that these cops are allowing that shit to happen. Let's continue.
So what are we gonna do about this problem? Because he just tried to steal some of my money.
sir,
And I'm
I
not
did
trying
not.
to put any allegations on him. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not using my words like to try to hurt anybody. I just know what I know. And then I don't even like the fact, but I know you guys have like special protocol. I don't even like the fact that he just tried to steal and nobody like stood up for him. You feel what I'm saying? Like nobody was like, okay.
Nobody saw anything
But I
that you were
seen
saying,
everything.
but nobody saw anything that you said.
I
you
appreciate
saw,
it, Mr.
okay?
Morris. You his sergeant.
Yes.
Yes, he is my sergeant.
Sir, I have 20/20 and I can read. I remember when you called him out I could tell you everything he said to you. Perfect timing. This was perfect. Perfect that you called me out this time because you didn't know the protocol to how a federal warrant was supposed to be taken care of. Correct or incorrect?
That's correct. That's the reason why I called him out to ask.
But you just separate. Whoa, so what was the purpose of you separating my money while you gave her money while you just watched her count my money out in full? Because you just wasted you wasted an evidence folder. Because now she has to rewrite a totally different number. So if I would have agreed to the number that I didn't know when she asked me, then I would have been like ridiculed or foreseen as a liar or something. That's why I didn't answer your question, ma'am, because I said that I had just went to Wendy's. I believe that's my receipt. I only ordered a 10-piece nugget and I ordered like a fry and something to drink, so I didn't know the actual amount of the money. All I know is when my girlfriend got off work at 5 o'clock, I was supposed to give her that money for the rest of the bills and she was going to get her car back. I was in a car this week. That's why I wasn't in my own car, ma'am. That was my girlfriend's car, Diamond Alexander. That's why when you initially pulled me over, and y'all probably have my phones, you can see the call record. I called her at like 4 or something to let her know, babe, I'm being pulled over in your car. In my eyes, I thought it was going to be for the T-tag, the temporary tag thing, the sticker. But like,
it was initially just for your speed, I promise you that.
No, I apologize, sir. I apologize. I'm just trying to do what I got to do. But I know for a fact what I heard. I have 20/20 vision. I'm not a criminal. I don't do things that I'm not supposed to. I heard him tampering with that rubber band.
Okay.
That rubber band was on that money because my girlfriend gave me the money this morning and told me I wasn't even supposed to be in her car. I just took it because I didn't want to be Ubering around all day and my girlfriend had a car and she was going to work. I was supposed to be picking her up off Central at her job, at her little, where she do cosmetics at. With that money, we supposed to go to the bank. I'm pretty sure when y'all check the car, y'all see the little Chase. Sir,
what's your full name?
Concrete Tyree Moon. M-O-N-C-R-E, last name Moon.
Do we have all your information?
Yes, sir, but I want to know what y'all gonna do about Mr. Chapman.
Okay.
He was just caught at work, tampering with evidence.
Mr. Moon, I'm gonna do my job, all right? So
I want it wrote down. I'm not gonna lie. Now, listen, Mr. Morris, I'm not gonna cut you off.
Listen, there's nothing I can give you right now to tell you what I want to do. But like, what I can tell you what I want to do is if you're alleging that he did something, honestly,
did you recount the extra money?
He said it was 1,000.
No, like it's 900.
Oh, it's 900. I have it right here. Sorry.
It's 900.
Do you mind
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was what I just put in. It was separate.
So like if you alleging that Officer Chapman did something.
So you guys don't
Listen. I'm telling you exactly what I'm gonna do. Do not parse every word I'm telling you. I'm telling you exactly what I'm going to do. All right? Is that I have to get on the phone. I have to call my supervisors to run up the chain. All right? But you're still going to jail.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I wasn't trying.
But like that's why I'm asking you if you gave them all of your information on how to get in contact with you. Did you do that? Name.
Only thing I got was my first name and last name.
Do we have address and a phone number?
You still have a gold pan?
Yes, sir.
We'll see to get your phone number. We have everything else.
What's your phone number?
You can take my girlfriend's number.
Stand by. They're muting out his information.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to get you in my car. Okay?
My information is also on the citation version.
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate you guys for like analyzing the situation because like if it wasn't said like this or seen like this or foreseen like this, nobody would have believed me. You feel what I'm saying? I just wanted you guys to believe me, and I'm sorry if I seemed irate or
There's another $1 in your pocket.
or I'm sorry if I seemed like I was doing too much. I just wanted you guys to believe me without me having to do anything like to show you guys, you feel what I'm saying, like try to grab him or try to like reach in his car and grab the money while I heard it. You feel what I'm saying? And I know it was a lot going on. Yes, ma'am.
I knew there was something in here.
Okay, let me pause this. I don't think that there's much. Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the last part that I'm going to play, I'm going to pull it up full screen. It's going to be where the sergeant relieves Mr. Chapman of his duties. I don't think that this video has anything else in terms of like them talking about what has happened. They don't provide that information. It's probably because there's union involved, there's due process involved. So I don't think that we see anything on this video where they question him. They have him kind of go and hang out in the office. And then I think that they get the word to go and relieve him of his duties. So we'll play that full screen. Stand by.
At intake.
Yes, ma'am.
Captain, his ID is on the dashboard up there.
Okay.
Do you mind putting it in my evidence file? Can I get like y'all names wrote down?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So like this is what's going to happen, all right? We have people coming in. Obviously, they have to talk to you, all right? So, I'm going to hold on to your weapon right quick, okay?
Yep. Go ahead. Just take the whole holster off. It's one of them.
QLS.
I got it.
Sergeant Burke and one of his detectives will come and speak to you, all right? So, just chill out, relax. Do you need anything?
No, I just want to apologize to everyone. I say, man, one of these things, dude. And I'm sorry.
Hi, brother. Anything to drink or anything, man?
No. Just want to say I'm sorry.
Gotcha, brother. Well, we're gonna walk out of here and close the door, okay, until they get here, okay, buddy?
All right. Let me know if you need anything, all right?
I'm good, Sarge. I appreciate it.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you think that there should be, do you think in that moment that the compassion and respect that was shown from the two officers that relieve him of his duties, do you think that that's appropriate? And this goes back to the question of like, what level of responsibility do law enforcement officers have to start speaking out against these types of actions? You know, from a personal standpoint, we had a situation where we had a security guard that was hired to work for us that was brought in and kind of, you know, given the stamp of approval by another person. And this person ended up being like a card carrying white supremacist, right? Like a literal card carrying, you know, Confederate, someone that has said vile, horrible things, someone who was very prominent in like kind of like, you know, the Proud Boy movement and some other things like that in the 2020, 2021 time. This person's documented, you know, being on major news networks, being on YouTube videos. And so when this person started working for us, immediately when someone found out about this, it became a big story, right? A big story that hit social media. It could have put the entire contract in jeopardy. It could have made our locations, some of our locations, a target. I mean, you got to remember, this is Portland, and, you know, it's no different than gang warfare. This whole Antifa, Proud Boy, you know, thing that we have here in the Pacific Northwest, it's not a joke. I know a lot of people that look at it from the peripheral. You think it's just a lot of college kids out there screaming, but people have died based on this kind of stuff, right? So this person is working for a company and representing us, and, you know, his stance is that he's changed and that he's a different person, but none of us were aware of this stuff before this person came in. When I found out about it, I was hot. I reached out to this person directly. I told him that I didn't appreciate him bringing that bullshit into our company, into the industry of private security. I reached out to the person that vouched for this person, said the exact same thing. Like, I was livid. I let everybody know I was very open, transparent, and honest about the fact that that shit had no place in our company or in our industry. Am I holding those two cops in that moment to a higher standard? I am. Am I wrong for that? I'm asking you guys that question in the comments. Do you think that I'm wrong for expecting those cops in that moment to say, hey, look, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is bullshit that you would do this. This is bullshit that you would put our department in this light, that you would put our industry in this light. Do they have a obligation to have done that? I personally feel that they do. And, you know, it's frustrating that not more cops are doing that. Let me get some of these comments in here. See, a dirty cop. PBE says the other cop wanted another Safari Land holster. That was the motive. Frank Martin, who is a law enforcement officer, I believe, he says, sometimes when I hear cops that say they're sorry, what I hear is that I'm sorry that I got caught. I agree with that. Yeah. Mitzi says, in fact, he did do this, then he should be arrested, charged, and lose his job. So he was arrested. He was allowed to resign, which I think is an interesting thing, because in some situations, if law enforcement officers are found to do something of impropriety, they're given the opportunity to resign. And if they resign as opposed to being fired, then a lot of times they're able to get jobs in different departments. That needs to be something that's also addressed. You guys know that story where we had the police officer in Missouri that shot that little dog, right? The dog's name was Teddy. They said this guy showed up to a damn, 911 call working for a different township right down the street, 10, 15 minutes away from where he's at. He's currently, been relieved of his duties in one place, allegedly, under investigation. The city and the police department is looking at a federal lawsuit, and this guy's working while under investigation for a department right down the road. Why is that okay? If you're working in private security and your license is stripped from you, if you're in some sort of hot water with DPSST, you're not going to be able to just go and work for another company. You're going to be sitting on the sidelines. And that's something that should be addressed in law enforcement as well. Frank says, what you have to understand is cops are ingrained to take care of each other, even if they are wrong. It's a hard thing to change. It's a hard thing to change that culture overnight. And I do want to say that, Frank, I appreciate you being on this platform and on this channel. You chime in quite a bit. You give a lot of great insight. I love the fact that you're a law enforcement officer that shares your opinion. And you oftentimes say things like, look, this is the situation. This is the way it is. I appreciate that. So I do want you to know that I appreciate you being here and you offering your advice and your guidance. Let's get to some of the takeaways from private security. Like, what does this mean for private security? If you're in a situation, and is it possible that we would ever find ourselves in a situation where if we're working with a partner or we're working with someone in our company that's been accused of impropriety, right? It's not likely in a private security setting that you're going to be in a position to interact with someone that has a large sum of money. Now, it's happened, right? On my community tab right now, from this morning, there's a picture that I put up, and it's about 10 loaded hypodermic needles. These are needles that all have heroin in them. It's from a guy that we removed from our store last night. He was being belligerent. He was trespassed. He was trying to steal some stuff. We made a stop on him, got the stuff back. The guy became aggressive. As he became aggressive, he produces a hypodermic needle, making a threat to me that he's going to stab me with it, right? We're able to de-escalate, get rid of the guy. But in him leaving, he leaves the bag of the stuff that he was trying to steal. And we find these 10 hypodermic needles. So right there, me, the loss prevention officer, the other security guards, were in possession of these narcotics. There's a chain of custody. There's a proper way to dispose of that based on the procedures for the location where we're working. What do? We don't just take that heroin and just go, hey, I'll take care of it and walk around the corner and do something with it and put it in my backpack. There's an actual procedure for that. So there are times where when you're working in private security, you're going to come in contact with things. Maybe it's drugs, maybe it's money, maybe it's property, right? So if you have someone that approaches you and says, hey, one of your officers did this, one of your officers, did something that's improper, what do you do? Okay. And I'm going to give you guys my 5 thoughts on that. Number one is to immediately report the situation. Private security guards are in a great position because since we're not law enforcement officers, a lot of times when we find ourselves in situations that are outside of the scope of our work, outside of our pay grade, above our level of responsibility, one of the greatest things that we can do is pass it off. Just pass it off. If nothing else, if you take nothing away from this video today, just know that you're in a great position. If something is too much for you to handle, if something's outside of your scope, if it's over your pay grade, pass it off. Someone comes to you, hey, officer so-and-so, stopped me for shoplifting. He took $700 out of my backpack. Perfect. Let me get a manager for you. Get a manager, supervisor, whoever's in charge of that location, whatever it is. You can pass that off to the next person that's above you and in a position of authority, and you can let them be the person that deals with that. I think taking all of that information serious, taking those accusations seriously, and then passing it off to the appropriate person is probably the best thing. Once you pass that information off to a manager, let's take this exact situation. You're working at a convenience store, you're working at a retail establishment. There's two officers, Officer A and yourself. Okay. Officer A is being accused of taking money out of the backpack of the subject that you guys just detained. You get a manager over, you report that. Once you've done that, the next step should be to report that up the chain. Make sure that you're letting your supervisor, your immediate downline supervisor, know about that accusation. It might not be warranted, it might not be founded, it can be complete bullshit, but something of that nature needs to be addressed and it needs to be up channeled. Let the management and the people that are at that location that are in charge handle it from there. Okay. Transparency and procedures doesn't necessarily really apply to security guards. If you're working in a law enforcement setting, if you're working in a correctional setting, that might be a little bit different. Definitely a little bit different. Transparency and procedures is that in this situation, I really wish that the officers involved would have been a little bit more forthcoming on camera as to what was going to happen. You get a little bit of that with the sergeant saying, look, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. It's going to be investigated. I'm going to up channel this, to the appropriate person, and they're going to get in contact with you. I think it's important to know that in this situation, when it's been found that the person did indeed either have possession or potentially steal this money from the subject, that person's going to be upset, rightfully so. Allow them to be upset. Allow them to voice their opinion, their concerns, their displeasure. Like, allow that. And then be very forthcoming with what the steps are going to be. Maybe that happened and we didn't see it, in this video. I think that this video is a little bit edited probably. But if you're in that position, if possible, and again, this is outside of my level of knowledge, maybe Frank or somebody else who works in law enforcement can say, hey, look, we can't get into that at that point in time. I think that would go a long way if you were more transparent in what the steps are going to be when someone makes that accusation. So if you're in a security setting and someone's made that accusation, I think it's perfectly okay to be honest. Hey, look, this is not my responsibility. This is not my level of authority. Let me explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, turn this over to management. Clearly, you see the managers right here. I'm also going to report this to my supervisor. Give that person the supervisor's name. Give them their business card. Give them the company name, the company business card, whatever it is, to allow them to be able to move forward in making whatever complaint that they have to make. I think that a lot of times, like Frank said, people are trying to defend their industry. They're trying to defend their coworkers. Something like that, an accusation of impropriety, go ahead and push that up the channel and be very forthcoming with that information. I knew a security guard a couple years back. And these are kind of some of the issues that we're more likely to see in our industry, right? A couple years back, a security guard that was working for a company, he meets up with a couple of associates at a convenience store. He meets up with them on his day off, and these girls are underage. Now, when I say underage, I think they're, 18 and 19. They're under 21. He purchases alcohol for these young ladies, and then they go to a house party. On the way to the house party, on the way back from the house party, the two girls are involved in a car wreck. Okay. Now, if you are a security guard working at this convenience store, because you got to remember, this is this guy's day off. So when that guy shows up purchasing alcohol and leaves with two under 21 aged girls, and you have a feeling that they're going to go party together, is that something that you should upchannel, right? If you have a no fraternization policy and you know that one of your co-workers is sleeping with one of the associates at your location, is that something that you should upchannel? These are the things that are more likely going to come into our view working in security. And if something happens and someone makes a complaint, you should be open enough and feel comfortable enough to share with them the steps that they can take in order to be transparent in how that's going to be reported, right? In terms of a thorough investigation, unless you're working in a management capacity, you're not going to be doing any investigating. But I think that you should explain to people how things are going to be investigated. Chain of custody documentation is something that I deal with working in my job. I come in contact, not as much now in say 2024, but definitely 2020, 2021, coming in contact with methamphetamine, coming in contact with heroin, just like I have in that community picture. I used to come across drugs all the time. Now, when I was working in a situation where I didn't have a partner, it's kind of on the honor system. You're being videotaped, you're being filmed in terms of the surveillance of the location where you're working. But when I came in contact with these, Schedule 1 narcotics, there's nobody really around to see what I do with them. But I had come up with my own chain of custody. What I would do is contact someone, let them know that I had found these drugs, and have someone come over and meet me in that location. We would then walk to an area where there's clearly camera footage. We would put that substance or those drugs into an envelope. We would mark them, and then we would place them into a sharps container, like what you put the needles into. And we would do all of this on camera. I would make a report, generate that report for my supervisor, and then generate that report for the manager of the location where I was at. I wanted to make sure that there was never a question as to what I did from the moment that I found that substance or that drug paraphernalia to the time that I, was able to wipe my hands of it, what I did with it, what happened to it. Same with money. So there needs to be some sort of documentation for you working in security. If you're working for a company, I would ask your management, your supervisor, what do we do? What do we do if we come across narcotics? Do we just throw it away? Do we take it and we keep it and turn it in? If we do turn it in, what do we do with it? And do you have a record, you as the officer, of what your actions were, so that if anything happens, you're not on the hook? Guys, think about it like this. You're working in a retail establishment. How many times have you seen someone going through the trash? Homeless person, regular person, high school kids. We have a high school at the location where I work, I would say less than 10 blocks away. They come over for lunch. They come over after school. They come over before school. You don't think that they're aware that there's drug addicts everywhere at our location? Would it be unlikely for them to sift through the trash or dig through the trash if maybe they're looking to see if there's something in there? If you're a private security guard, you come across narcotics, you can't just throw that shit away. And if you do, you could find yourself liable for that. So there needs to be some sort of chain of custody documentation. If you're not aware of that with your company, I would ask. If you don't have it, I would create something. I would come up with something so that you have an understanding of what you did with it, where that drug went, where that money was, dropped off, left, or who it was given to, so that it doesn't come back on you. We always talk about the fact that the security guards are going to be the ones that are blamed for everything. So short of having any sort of procedures, please do something to make sure that you guys are aware of what you did in those circumstances. It's a really good thing for me to come up with a course on. I could do that. Could definitely do that. Number 5 is the ethical side of all of this. I've given you my stance on how I thought these two officers handled this. I thought one of them, I'll give him a C plus. I'll give the sergeant a C plus. I'm going to give that female officer a lower grade, but someone here, I think it was Henry Ross, made a very good point. Let me bring it in. Henry Ross says that the woman officer seems to be working for the jail. It's not her job to investigate the police or to police the local police. That's the local police's supervisor's job. So I'm going to give you a little bit of agreement on that, you know, if she's working for the jail, she's just there to take this guy into custody and to house him. It's not her place to, you know, maybe argue with this officer or investigate whether or not what he's doing is right or not. I will say, however, from an industry standpoint, she does have a responsibility to handle herself a little bit better. And that's just me personally. Okay. I'm going to agree with you. If that's the case and she's working for the jail and she's not a part of this department, then maybe it's not really her place to have gotten involved. But I think from an industry standpoint, it kind of is, right? All right. Let me see if we got any other comments here. Let's see here. Terry says everyone should be held accountable, both civilians and law enforcement. He says politicians, security, religious leaders, everyone. I agree. PBE says Frank, blue backing up the blue and the badge of silence. Baraka says, as a security guard, I've had multiple opportunities to take cash from various wallets and purses. Nope, it doesn't happen. Henry Ross says the local supervisor of the police department charged him with the crime while on duty and was fired. Is that simple? He says simply. Let me read this again. The local supervisor of the police department charged him with the crime while on duty and he was fired. That simple. I think is what you mean. And then PBE says there are policies of guards not coming to the job site while off duty. Yeah, that's a definite. Do you guys have policies like that where you can't come onto the job site when you're not working? That should definitely be there, right? So anyway, guys, that's the breakdown of the situation. A couple of things, takeaways. Number one, make sure that you immediately report any impropriety that comes to your awareness in terms of your company and other officers. Be transparent with people as to what the procedures are. Of course, that's going to be as you know it, because some of us working in security companies, we're not privy to that. We don't know that. And I think that that's okay. I think it's okay to tell people, look, I don't know. That's not my department, but this is what I do know. These are the people that you can talk to. Please reach out to them. The thorough investigation, that's going to be coming from the position of leadership. Most of us are not going to be involved in that. Chain of custody and documentation. Make sure that you are documenting anything that you come in contact with. One of the security guards said, hey, I come in contact with wallets that have money in it all the time. You should be documenting that. If someone comes up to you and says, hey, I found this wallet inside of a grocery cart outside, and they hand it to you, and I'll tell you guys what I do in those situations. If they hand it to you, you should look in there and see, hey, there's, $65 in here while someone is there next to you. Don't do this on your own, but you should get a manager or a representative from that location. You should have them in your presence document what's in there. You put down the amount of money, what's in it, make sure that everybody's above board, and then you pass that off. Send that to your supervisor. Keep a copy for your records. If you're the last person that's seen with that stuff, it can be construed that you did something, and you don't want to do that. If you guys don't have policies and procedures for the custody and documentation of things that you come in contact with, come up with something. And I'm giving you guys that idea right there. I'm getting so hoarse right now. Stand by. The lastly is going to be ethical conduct. Just do the right thing. Don't steal shit. Don't steal shit from people. Don't take things that aren't yours. Keep your hands to yourself. Play nice. Everything that you need to know about working in private security or law enforcement, you learned in kindergarten. Be nice to your neighbor. Respect everyone's space. Respect everyone's privacy. Stay between the lines, which means follow your post orders. Right? Be kind. all those things. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. You did a great job of giving me comments and giving me feedback in the comment section. But once this thing gets posted, I want you guys to let me know, do you think these officers were wrong? Were they out of line? Were they in the right? What could they have done differently in terms of handling this situation? Do you think that this person should have been arrested? When I say this person, I mean Officer Chapman. Should he have been arrested right then and there on the scene? Or do you think it's okay that he was allowed to resign? Give me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. Give me your comments. I appreciate you guys being here. And I have one more live stream that I will be doing a little bit later tonight. It's going to be a doozy. All right. As always, thanks for being here, being a part of the platform, supporting what we do. If you think that we're providing value, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, be great. All right. You guys take care.
But I got money in the bank.